Divinity Original Sin 2 is the sequel to Larian Studios' 2014 epic tactical RPG of the same title. Set in a lush, magical world of Rivellon, populated by face-stealing undead, talking ships and horny fire slugs, just to mention a few examples of the type of characters you'll likely meet on your journeys. You are God-woken, born with the potential to wield the power of the gods and ascend to divinity and become the next divine and champion of Rivellon. As with most RPG games, you start with character creation, and there are choices aplenty. You can play as humans, dwarves, elves, lizards, and even undead. Although there is no locked class system in this game, you can pick a starting one from a hefty selection ranging from warriors to rogues, rangers to wizards, and just about every conceivable cross-class of the previously mentioned groups. There are 6 pre-built origin characters that quite frankly you would be selling yourself short if you didn't at least try out. The game makes very good use of a clever tagging system that changes the way you're received in the world, as well as opening unique dialogue options. For example, being an elf means that lizard people think of you as an inferior being and that you should be enslaved. Each of the 6 Origins characters have their own unique tags and also have their own unique questline to follow. My favourite so far is the elf Sibyl, who is a former slave of the lizard people and is seeking to hunt down and kill anybody who had a hand in her enslavement. Aside from being a complete badass, she can gain powers and memories by eating dismembered body parts, a trait native to all elves. All of the Origin characters can be fully customised, so don't worry about being appearance or class locked. Much like The Witcher 3, there's just as much detail put into the side quest as there is the main story. But unlike most modern RPGs, it's not afraid to close doors that lead to big opportunities if you screw up. Taking the Pet Pal perk, which allows you to talk to the animals of Rivellon, is definitely recommended, as it opens up loads more of the game's side stories and had me laughing more than once as they all have their own little personalities. Be warned though, some of these animals can be jerks. Pretty much from the get-go, the one thing that I found that developer Larian Studios is pushing is choice. From the many dialogue options that have extremely different consequences on your game, to the turn-based tactical combat where the battlefield is littered with all manner of environmental dangers that can be turned to your advantage. An example of this would be, say there's a massive fire, you can make it rain, which would create a steam cloud. That can then be electrified to create an area of crowd control. Beware though, the computer AI is more than adept at employing these effects on you, so you'll need to think ahead if you plan to survive. Playing on Explorer difficulty is a walk in the park, so if you don't enjoy strategy but like the RPG elements and just want to hear the story, it's perfect. The classic mode is much harder and will punish you for not getting your character builds right or for making stupid mistakes. There is a tactician mode which really ups the ante, and for all you sadistic buggers out there, there's honor mode, which is basically a permadeath mode. As if that wasn't enough, you can also play PvP in the arena mode, and there's a game master mode which lets you play as or against a live dungeon master for the true tabletop Dungeons & Dragons experience. The storytelling in this game is magnificent, and because the world reacts so differently to different characters, there's a ton of replayability. The best example I can give is in the first town you land in, you save an elf from being extorted by local thugs. After saving her, or not, your choice, she thanks you and leads you to a cave where all the other elves are holed up, and you meet a blind child who is revered as a scion, a golden child, and is even referred to as everything to her people. Now, in my game, I made friends with the elves, and they helped me get to the next area. When I played co-op with a friend, however, he was playing as the Origin character Los, who is possessed by a multitude of spirits, and as soon as he spoke to the child, his dialogue changed to "kill the elf." This led to the entire camp turning hostile. We had to fight our way out, and then needed to find an alternative way off the island. This is just one example of many that I've seen that make me want to play this game through multiple times, and if I was to talk about them all in this review, it would be hours long instead of minutes. Being an avid reader of fantasy novels, I've seen more than a few nods to the works of many of my favourite authors, such as David Gemmell and Robin Hobb, as well as the obvious Lord of the Rings tropes that most fantasy RPGs seem to employ. The world of Rivellon truly feels alive, and the characters you meet along the way really help to reinforce this feeling. Fully voiced and accompanied by one of the most beautiful soundtracks I've ever heard in a game, Divinity Original Sin 2 is really something special. The graphics are vibrant, and the mood really varies from location to location. Larian Studios have done a fantastic job in world building, and it's plain to see the love and care to detail that has gone into this game. As the game was crowdfunded, there was no AAA publisher to put pressure on the development team or to enforce the usual season pass microtransaction trends, which have been ruining many great games recently, and this has really allowed Larian to flourish and to create what is, in my opinion, the best RPG since Baldur's Gate 2. That's why we give Divinity Original Sin 2 9.5 out of 10, one of the best games I have ever played. And it's also earned the Golden Wid, the official Worth It Dude seal of approval. If you enjoy RPGs, strategy games, great storytelling, and even like a bit of humour in your games, this is a must-buy. Truly divine developing from Larian Studios.